Okay, essentially, I'm going to go through these steps with you just to show you what could happen without a calculator, but essentially you will always have a calculator available for you for these kinds of questions. So I'm just going to go through this quite briefly. So if we are multiplying standard form numbers together, now notice these two values are both standard form, the brackets are next to each other, which means that we are multiplying. So what we could have done is written the whole question out like this. 2.1 multiplied by 10 to the 8, multiplied by 3.2, multiplied by 10 to the 4. Now we know that the order that we do multiplication doesn't matter. So we can multiply 2.1 multiplied by 3.2. That gives us an answer of 6.72. Now, for our powers of 10, there's a special rule. When we have the same base, and we know that 10 is our base here, if we are multiplying two numbers with the same base, what we can do is take a shortcut and we can add our powers together and keep the same base. So in this case, 10 to the power 8 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 would give us 10 to the power 12, because all we've had to do is add the 8 and the 4. So our final answer would be to give our value 6.72 and then multiply by 10 to the 12. So looking at the next page. So step 1, 2 times 4. It should be easy. 8. 10 to the 3 multiplied by 10 to the 4. Remember, what do? We add our powers. So that becomes 10 to the 7. So our final answer is 8 multiplied by 10 to the 7. You can pause the video, check that you have the correct answers for the others. Okay, so these are our answers. And on to the next page. So here's an issue if, this is what to do if the coefficients of the number in front is more than 10. Now we remember that to be in standard form, this number has to be between 1 and 10. So the rules still apply. We multiply the 6 times 4 to give us the 24. We then add our powers of 10 to give us 10 to the 7. But then we have to deal with this fact that this is no longer between 1 and 10. How can we make it between 1 and 10? Well, we can divide it by 10. If we divide this number here by 10, it means we're going to need to increase this power by 1. So, where we had 24, we want 2.4. This started off at 7, it now becomes an 8. As I said, you will have your calculators to double check any kind of working. Let me go through one more example here with these ones. So, we would first of all calculate 9.2 multiplied by 3.1. Okay, so we can do that on the calculator. So 9.2 multiplied by 3.1 gives 28.52. And what do we do with our powers? We add them. So this would be 10 to the 9. Now, this number is too big, so we have to move our decimal point back one place, which means we're going to increase our power by 1. So this is now going to become 2.852 times 10 to the 10. Pause the video and check your answers after. Okay, so you can check the other answers here now. And the last one is negative numbers. And you would just do that in the same way. So we multiply the two big numbers together. We add our powers, so negative 3 and negative 3 gives us negative 6. So the rules still apply. So for this one here, we do 3 times 2, which gives us 6. We would add our powers, so negative 6 and negative 4 gives negative 10. 5 times 1 is 5. Negative 5 plus negative 4 is negative 9. And 5.5 multiplied by 4.2 is 23.1. Add our powers, so negative 7 plus 4 gives us negative 3. But look, this number is too big, so we need to make it a number between 1 and 10. So it's going to be 2.31 times 10. And remember, we have to add 1 to our power. So that's going to go from a negative 3 to a negative 2. Okay, one thing here, just going to show you how to input these standard form into the calculator. So if I want to input, for example, this question, 2.1 times 10 to the 8, so it would be 2.1. We see this button here, times 10, and then we'd write 8. So that means 2.1 times 10 to the 8, and we're multiplying that by 3.2 times 10 to the 4. And there it gives 6.7 times 10 to the 12. Okay, so that's just how to use the calculator.